If you are over 62 and collecting Social Security, stop whatever you're doing right now and watch this entire video, because what I am about to tell you could directly affect your monthly check starting as early as this June. I know that sounds scary. And honestly, it should get your attention, because thousands of seniors across the country are already seeing changes in their payments, and most of them had absolutely no idea it was coming. Let me give you a real example. Margaret, a 67-year-old retired teacher from Ohio, woke up one morning and checked her bank account. Her Social Security deposit was $340 less than the month before. No letter, no warning, no explanation. She called the SSA office and waited 2 hours on hold just to find out she was affected by a policy change she never even heard about. That is exactly the kind of situation I do not want you to be in. Now here's the thing. Not everyone will be cut. Some people will be completely fine. But the difference between who gets hit and who does not comes down to a few very specific factors that I'm going to break down for you clearly in this video. So do yourself a favor. Do not skip ahead, do not close this tab, and definitely do not assume this does not apply to you. The people who ignored this early on are the ones calling their bank in a panic right now. Stay with me. This gets very important, very fast. So let's get into exactly what is happening, why it is happening, and most importantly, what you can do about it right now before it is too late. The Social Security Administration, the SSA, has been going through some of the most significant structural and policy changes it has seen in decades. And these changes are not just minor adjustments on paper. They are real shifts that are already showing up in real people's monthly payments. The problem is that most seniors are finding out about these changes the wrong way, by opening their bank app and seeing a number that does not match what they were expecting. And at that point, the damage is already done. Now, I want to be very clear with you from the start. This is not about fear-mongering. This is not about making you panic. This is about making sure you are informed, because the people who are getting hurt the most right now are the ones who assumed everything would stay the same. And the truth is, it is not staying the same. Things are changing fast, and if you are over 62 and collecting benefits, or planning to collect benefits soon, you absolutely need to understand what is going on. Let me walk you through the 3 biggest areas where seniors are being affected right now. The first and most immediate issue is the earnings test. Now, a lot of people do not realize this, but if you are between 62 and your full retirement age, which for most people today is somewhere between 66 and 67, and you are still working while collecting Social Security, there's a limit to how much you can earn before the SSA starts reducing your monthly benefit. This is called the retirement earnings test, and the thresholds for this change every single year. What a lot of people do not know is that the SSA does not just reduce your future checks gently, it can withhold entire payments temporarily until the overage is recovered. So you could go from receiving your regular monthly deposit to suddenly receiving nothing, and have no idea why until you dig through the fine print. This is exactly what happened to a man named Robert, a 64-year-old from Florida who had taken on part-time consulting work after retiring from his government job. He was bringing in a bit of extra income to help cover rising grocery and utility costs. Completely reasonable, right? But because his earnings crossed the annual threshold, the SSA began withholding portions of his Social Security check without any prominent notification. He thought there was a banking error. His wife called their bank 3 times. It took nearly 2 weeks to figure out what was actually happening. 2 weeks of stress, phone calls, and confusion, all because of a rule that most people have never heard explained clearly. The second major issue is the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset. 2 policies that have been hitting retirees with pensions from jobs that did not pay into Social Security. If you worked for a state or local government, as a teacher, a firefighter, a police officer, a city employee, and you also have some Social Security credits from other jobs, these provisions can significantly reduce what you get from Social Security. And this has been a hot-button issue for years. There was actually legislation introduced to address these provisions, but the implementation and rollout have been inconsistent, leaving many seniors in a confusing middle ground where they were told their benefits might change, but nobody told them exactly how, exactly when, or exactly by how much. This uncertainty alone has caused real financial hardship. People who were budgeting based on one number suddenly had to adjust for a different number, and for seniors living on fixed incomes with rising costs everywhere, that kind of surprise is not just an inconvenience, it is a crisis. Now here is where it gets even more important. The third area affecting payments right now has to do with Medicare premium increases and how they are automatically deducted from Social Security checks. A lot of people do not realize that Medicare Part B premiums, which cover doctor visits and outpatient care, come directly out of your Social Security payment before it even hits your bank account. And when those premiums go up, your net payment goes down. Even if the SSA gives you a cost of living adjustment, a COLA increase, a portion or sometimes all of that increase can be eaten up by the higher Medicare premium. So on paper, you got a raise. In your bank account, you got less. This is a phenomenon so common in the senior community that it has its own nickname, the Medicare premium trap. And it catches people every single year because the announcements about premium increases and the announcements about COLA adjustments come at different times and are communicated differently. Unless you sit down and do the math yourself, or have someone do it for you, you might genuinely not know that your real take-home payment dropped until you see it in your account. And the thing is, this is not some theoretical future problem. This is happening right now in June, as seniors are opening their bank apps and doing exactly that double take that Margaret did when she saw $340 missing from her expected deposit. So what do you actually do about all of this? Because I do not want to leave you with just the problem. I want to give you real, actionable steps that you can take right now. The first thing you need to do is log into your My Social Security account at ssa.gov. If you do not have one, create one today. It is free, it is secure, and it gives you direct access to your earnings record, your projected benefit amounts, and any notices the SSA has sent you. A lot of the confusion people experience happens because official notices get lost in the mail or get ignored. When you have an online account, you get digital notices that are harder to miss. Once you are in your account, look at your payment history for the last 3 to 6 months. Compare what was deposited versus what was expected. If there is a discrepancy, look for any letters or notices in your message center. The SSA is required to notify you of any changes to your benefit, but those notices do not always arrive in time or in a format that is easy to understand. The second thing you need to do, especially if you are still working and collecting at the same time, is calculate where you stand relative to the annual earnings limit. For this year, if you are below full retirement age for the entire year, the limit is around $22,000 in earned income before the SSA starts withholding. If you are going to reach full retirement age this year, that limit is higher. The SSA's website has a retirement earnings test calculator that is actually pretty easy to use. Plug in your numbers and it will tell you if you are at risk of having payments withheld. The third step is to contact your local Social Security office directly if anything looks off. Do not just wait and hope it resolves itself. Do not assume it is a banking error. Call the SSA at 1-800-772-1213 or schedule an in-person appointment at your local field office. Yes, the hold times can be long. Yes, it can be frustrating. But catching a payment issue early and getting it resolved is far better than letting it compound over several months. Now I also want to talk about something that does not get discussed enough, and that is the emotional toll that all of this uncertainty takes on seniors and their families. When you have worked your entire life, paid into the system for decades, planned your retirement around a specific monthly number, and then that number suddenly changes without clear explanation, it is not just a financial shock. It is a deeply unsettling experience. It shakes your confidence in the system you trusted. It creates anxiety about the future. And for spouses and adult children watching their parents go through this, it creates a whole other layer of stress and helplessness. You're not alone if you have felt that way. And I want you to know that these situations are fixable. The SSA does make errors. Benefits that were incorrectly withheld can be restored. Overpayment situations can often be appealed or negotiated into manageable repayment plans. The system is complicated and imperfect, but it is not impossible to navigate, especially when you know what to look for and you act quickly. There's also a bigger picture conversation happening right now in Washington about the long-term solvency of Social Security. The Social Security trust funds have been projected to face shortfalls within the next decade if no legislative action is taken. That does not mean Social Security is going away. Let me be clear about that. But it does mean there is real pressure on Congress to make decisions about benefit levels, eligibility ages, and funding mechanisms. And those decisions, whatever they end up being, will affect every single person watching this video. That is why staying informed is not optional anymore. Checking your account once a year when you do your taxes is not enough. You need to be paying attention to what is happening with Social Security policy on a regular basis, and you need to understand how changes at the federal level translate into changes in your monthly check. That is literally what this channel is here for, to break it down in plain language so you do not have to wade through government documents and policy briefs on your own. So here is where I want to leave you today. If you are over 62, whether you are already collecting Social Security or getting close to the age where you will start, your job right now is to be proactive. Log into your SSA account. Review your payment history. Understand how Medicare premiums affect your net benefit. Know the earnings limits if you are still working, and if anything looks wrong or confusing, make the call. Do not wait. The seniors who are navigating this smoothly are not the ones with the most money or the best accountants. They are the ones who stay informed and take action early. That is the only real advantage you can have in a system this complicated. If this video helped you understand something that was confusing before, please hit that like button right now. It genuinely helps more people find this content who need it. And if you have a family member or friend who is on Social Security or about to start collecting, Share this video with them today. You might be saving them from a very stressful surprise down the road. I am going to keep covering these issues as they develop, so make sure you are subscribed and have the notification bell turned on so you do not miss the next update. Because, trust me, this story is not over. There are more changes coming, and I will be here to break down every single one of them for you in plain, simple language. Stay informed, stay protected, and I will see you in the next one.